What seems to be clear to me seems to be murky to everybody else. But the PBC is not ran by Al Haymon. Let's talk. Now, what you are looking at is the people who actually run boxing. Just what you're looking at. This guy right here, Tom Brown, Louis DeCubas Jr., his dad, Louis DeCubas Sr. I don't really see him in here. I thought this was him, but it's not him. That's Louis DeCubas. That's Tom Brown. They run PBC. These people right here run Top Rank, Matchroom. He's got his promotional company. These guys run a promotional company, or these guys, one of the two. All these guys, they run boxing. So the focus is on him, Tom Brown, and Louis DeCubas. These are the focus. That's the focus, right? And this is no shade. I'm not knocking anybody, no disrespect to them. But what I'm telling you is they run the PBC. It sounds good to say Al Haymon, Al Haymon, Al Haymon, Al Haymon, Al Haymon. Sounds good. Al Haymon does not run the PBC. Louis DeCubas and Tom Brown run the PBC. Decisions go through Louis DeCubas and Tom Brown. Sounds good to say Al Haymon. Al Haymon is like saying the Queen of England. Yes. Did Al Haymon start out running it? Of course. Of course he started out running. But ask yourself these questions. Is the PBC running the way it started running? Is the PBC operating the way it started operating? No, it is not. It is not at all. And the PBC is not operating the way it started out operating. It is not running the way it started out running for a reason. Because there's other people that are running it. There's other people that are in charge of it. There's other people that have say in it. When other people have a lot of say in it, then the next thing you know, what ends up happening is things that were running smoothly, or things that were running good to people, are now not. Let me ask y'all a question. How many black people do you see in this picture? Yeah, these are the people who run and control mostly black people. This is not a knock. It's not a racial thing. This is a factual thing. Yeah, most of the people on this screen, all the people on this screen, none of them are black. None of them. That's first and foremost. So why would they have black interest in mind? Why? What will be the purpose of pushing black interest? They're pushing a commodity, what they're pushing. They're pushing someone that they own to make them funds. That's what they're pushing. That's what they're all pushing. All of them. I mean, these are the people that run boxing. BF, where's Oscar De La Hoya? He was here. He just didn't take that picture, but he took a different one. He was there. But BF, I thought you said all black people, but Oscar's not a black person. Oscar supports Mexican people. And I got no beef with that. I have no beef whatsoever. I promise you I don't. I have no issue with Oscar supporting Mexican people. Mexican people deserve to be supported. I have no problem. My issue, my question is, where is the support for black people? Where is that support at? I'm not saying some of these guys on the screen are not cool people. I'm not saying that some of these guys on the screen are not good people. I'm not saying that at all. You can be good and have the best interests of someone else at heart. You can be a dirtbag and have the best interests of someone else at heart. A lot easier to have the best interests of people you look like, you rock with, you're comfortable with at heart. It's a lot easier. So when we ask these questions about, man, why didn't Deontay Wilder fight Charles Martin? With the screen. Why didn't Deontay Wilder fight Vladimir Klitschko? Look at the screen. Why didn't Deontay Wilder fight Joseph Parker, man? Look at the screen. Man, why isn't Errol Spence back right now? He wanted to be back. He got in the ring with Fundora, which lets y'all know he wanted to fight. He wanted to fight. What was the holdup? Look at the screen. Oh, well, BF. I mean, what's going on with Tank? Why ain't Tank this and why ain't Tank that? Look at the screen. Oh man. Well, listen, man. Boots was with the PBC, man. Boots was over there. Boots and this and Boots and that and Boots and this and now Boots with Eddie Hearn and why ain't Boots this and what? Look at the screen. What I see, looking at the screen, is a bunch of people that you could put like Confederate hats on. Give them tall hats and Confederate mustaches. Give them a big giant house somewhere in Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Texas. Big giant house. Whole bunch of boxers. And instead of putting the boxers in the cotton fields, instead of putting the boxers in the tobacco fields, sugarcane, they put the boxers in a ring. Yeah, instead of a big old field of cotton, peppers, tobacco, instead of a big field of that, they just turned the field into a boxing ring. Just turned the field into a boxing ring. That's all it did. The same people run the same thing. It just went from collecting cotton, sugar, tobacco. It went from collecting a product to them being the product. Yeah. Went from a cotton gin to a boxing ring. But the people in charge are still the people in charge. Now, we can have a conversation about how people got wiggled into certain things, right? We can have that conversation about how this man got there and how that man got there, right? We can have that conversation. We know this man stole from Ali, right? We know this guy is here because of his dad. You can start asking the questions how this guy got there, right? And all these other people, all these people you see zero black representation. The closest you're going to get is Louis DeCubas. The closest you're going to get. Now, I understand a lot of people are going to look at this and say, "Oh, come on, BF. Come on, man. You can't be serious, BF. Like, come on, man." But what I would ask you, what I would ask everybody is, where is the representation? If you think about it, they sued and sued and sued Al Haymon because Al Haymon was paying fighters money. Too much money, they claimed. Now, when they sued Al Haymon for paying fighters too much money, the powers that be made lawsuits a good thing. That lawsuit was such a good thing because Al Haymon was a terrorist. Hitler is what they called him. So bad for boxing. And they sued him. You can't be a manager, a promoter, an advisor. You can't do that. We can't, no. But the only people that was complaining was the other promoters who were losing money because Al was collecting all the fighters and paying them handsomely. So the other promoters were losing money. But when boxers sue, all of a sudden, lawsuits are so bad. They're just so bad. Oh my gosh, they're just so bad, man. They're so bad. Oh my gosh, I can't believe a lawsuit from a boxer. Oh my gosh, I can't believe a lawsuit. This is a lawsuit. Yeah, so this is soft. This is so weak. Oh my god. Because the powers that be were affected by the lawsuit. When the powers that be were affected in any capacity, the powers that be made sure that the public implants, bots, paid YouTubers, paid publicists, and paid media, paid corporate media, made sure that they pushed or started the avalanche of specific narratives. Let's start the avalanche of a specific narrative about Al Haymon and about how bad he is for the sport of boxing. Can't believe he's paying fighters this amount of money. It's bad for the sport of boxing. Let corporate media start that. And let then, slide a few dollars to some YouTubers to get the ball rolling. Some coons, some Sambos, mainly. Because regardless of what people say, those are the main media outlets, the coons and Sambos. Those are the ones that people listen to the most. Put a black face on it. Turn that black face into a Sambo or a coon. And then push them a little bit. Give them a little push. Give them a couple of interviews with some boxers. Now, all of a sudden, people look at this dude as sterile, or these people as sterile. Assign them, attach them, give them a little bread. Now we have the backing. We have the outlet, the connection to the people, the voice of the people. So now we can make up blatant lies, whatever we want, and then push it to people that know how to articulate their words so they don't get sued. Because we want to do the suing, we just don't want to get sued. So we'll just go behind the scenes, and that's why everybody's talking about sources this and sources that. My source is Maze, one of my biggest sources. A lot of my other sources are some actual fighters, some actual boxers that don't want their names attached because they don't want the backlash and to get sued. Other people don't give their source. They don't give their sources for a reason, because their sources is corporate media. They pushed Al Haymon out to the point where he is just the Queen of England. They pushed Al Haymon out to the point where there is legitimately he's the whipping boy. And that is not, I'm not saying that figuratively, I'm saying that literally. Tom Brown, Louis the Cubist, and his son, and I got no beef with nobody, I'm just pointing it out, they get no backlash. There's nobody saying that Louis the Cubist and Tom Brown are the problem. You don't never hear that. You always hear Al Haymon, Al Haymon. PBC is synonymous with Al Haymon, but Al Haymon is not a promoter, and he's never even been a promoter. And the one time that he was trying to do it, he had to bring in Tom Brown, because they sued him and saying you can't be an advisor and a promoter and a manager. You can't do all these things. Can't do them all. But you can't do them all, because if you did do them all, then the interest that you had in place for black fighters would be different. The interest you had in place. But since they sued you because you can't do them all, you now have Louis the Cubist, his dad, and Tom Brown. They get absolutely no flack whatsoever. No flack whatsoever. They get absolutely no beef, no issue. Nobody's crapping on them. Nobody's going at them at all. Anything bad that happens in PBC, they blame. Just like anything that happens, they look at the LDBC, the same thing. Just a bunch of black guys. That's why they hate the LDBC. That's why the coons, the black people that go against the LDBC, are loved. Man, these black weirdos that go against the LDBC, man, they love them. They love these dudes. These are the greatest dudes in the world, man. They get thousands of followers, thousands of people, hundreds and hundreds of people watching their videos, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people watching their live streams, because they just go against black people. Hell, anybody, I could do that. I could do that right now. I could just start going against Deontay and go against Devin and go against Errol. Man, I'd have 5,000 people watching my live streams every day. If I just started going against black people, I could, at any time I want, I could do that and just have, yeah, because that's what you guys want. You guys want that. Let me praise the puppets. Let me start praising Tank, the puppets, right? Praise Tank, praise AJ, the puppets. Let's praise these guys. Let's go with these guys. Let's make sure I put these guys on a full pedestal. Well, no longer AJ, because he's not really being puppeteered, but he was. But let's praise Tank. Let's make sure I sit around and just talk about how great and greasy Tank is, right? Let's talk about how phenomenal and whatever Lomachenko is, and Golovkin and Tyson Fury, and they're just, man, I'm solid. I have 5,000 people watching me every single day. That's exactly what they did to the PBC. It was too black. Throwing their Tom Brown. Got to get Louis DeCubas and Tom Brown. And again, I'm not beefing with nobody. Nah, I got no beef with Louis DeCubas, bro. I got no issue with Tom Brown. I'm telling you guys, that's what happened. This is what they did. And they did this on purpose. Because it was too black. So when you look at the PBC, why it's failing is because it's watered down. It started out like black coffee. It might as well be milk now. And because you had a black face to put the blame on with Al Haymon, and you still do, then that's the reason why people can say what they want to say about the PBC. That's the reason why. But trust me, y'all are not going to care. Because corporate media is a lot more powerful than what I am. Y'all going to listen to this? Oh, BF, you right. And then you're going to be right back on the Coons pages, listening to them down and degrade all the black fighters and Al Haymon. You're going to be like, that's right, man. Because I'm fair. I'm fair. I'm fair. I'm so fair. You're going to see all of them. Black and brown just get straight annihilated over and over and over. Over and over and over again. While they put people in the front of the line over and over and over again. That didn't accomplish or didn't do not even a quarter of what black and brown did. Not even a quarter. And then we sit around and wonder why black and brown always has to do so much, but others don't. BFTB, man. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. I'm out. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, subscribe to my Patreon. And if you feel like supporting me, please support me in the PayPal or the Cash App.